Are you ready?
Agility from the champion. Oh, Jesus! That could be it. Delivered this deep six.
This is our countdown show to AEW Revolution. Tommy, how are you, man?
What's up, man? I'm doing pretty good, dude. It's I don't know if our viewers noticed. We got a little change on the intro there, the logo, the color scheme. We're making we're excited for the revolution. Let's just put it that way.
For those of you guys that don't know, we were formerly the Deep Six Pro Wrestling Podcast, but now we are now known as the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast. We are the hardest working pro wrestling podcast out there.
Yes,
we are
sir.
in your face each and every single week. The Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast is a new name that we're going by. We're not as much of a new podcast anymore, but we are rebranded. We are ready to go. We're getting ready for year 3 soon, and I can't wait. I mean, we're about 17 episodes away from 100. So
I'm telling you, I know I comment on it every week, but I'm telling you, man, that's just so weird to think about. Just how quick, not only how quick the weeks go by, but just how much has changed in what 80. We're at 83 now, so we've probably done 60 episodes of the show and probably another 20 shows outside of that, so so much has changed in our lives and in the wrestling world. It's crazy, man.
And we're a PG wrestling podcast.
Well,
how many PG pro wrestling podcasts are out there? Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Except for when Frank Manzo's on here, then we have to control him a little bit.
We are actively PG throughout the whole show. Now there might be some, I have a tendency to drop a few words depending on how the shows are, but yeah, we're mostly PG.
Anyway, how you been otherwise? You good?
Man, I've been good.
How's Indiana treating you over there?
Oh, it's so much fun, man. It's definitely kind of got on the national stage a little bit today with McAfee and Vince McMahon. That was cool. Kind of got the I don't know, the people talking here, the Indianapolis crowd talking. We got the Big Ten basketball tournaments coming up here this week. It's going on right now for the women's, and man, it's we're the city where basketball is made, man. We're basketball's mecca, so it's we're excited for the March Madness tournament coming up.
Yeah, March Madness is basically one of the only times during the year I'll watch the college basketball.
Yeah, me too.
So much college sports to follow throughout the year, but once March hits, which we're here now, I can't believe that it just totally snuck up on me. And once March hits, the field of competition shrinks down, and it's much easier to follow.
Yeah, and anybody who's offended by that comment that I made, or wants to offer up a different opinion, like New York's the mecca of basketball. No, man, we're Indiana. We grow basketball here. That's our whole saying, and I mean, it's just true, man. The basketball runs through Indiana in this country.
New York should be mecca of basketball, but certainly not playing it right now.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I mean, neither are the Pacers. So Tommy Hook, yeah, I know. I cut up my hair a little bit, so now I lose my my Hook hair every once in a while.
Hook is wrestling Sunday night in the buy-in.
I know, man. I'm excited. I think, honestly, that's probably one of the better. I don't know how this will come out saying it, but I think that's one of the better decisions. Business decisions on the entire card is you've been giving people the little tease with him on Rampage and just quick 3-4 minute matches, and now he's probably going to have a good 7-8 minute match with QT, but it's on the buy-in, so you're getting people to watch. You're getting people intrigued by his first pay-per-view match. However, it's not on the main card, so I think that's a really good plan. I think it's kind of showing the trust that Tony Khan has in Hook to be able to kind of, gradually move him up the card and get him, I'm sure we'll see him next on Double or Nothing. I'm sure he'll be on the card in a at least somewhat decent feud. Obviously, that's their big show, but no, man, I'm excited to see Hook, and I think QT Marshall is probably one of the better veteran options that you can go for to, kind of have that first big pay-per-view match. He's kind of like a Dolph Ziggler to me, if that makes sense. Obviously, Ziggler's having a little bit of a career renaissance in NXT, but no, yeah, man, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Ziggler wins the title. They shoved Braun Breaker up after WrestleMania, man.
That makes me want to watch NXT 2.0 even more.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, honestly, you should watch NXT TakeOver this week. Or not TakeOver, but NXT 2.0 this week. I highly recommend it. We got I'm pretty sure they're titling it Roadblock, for the old pay-per-view from a few years ago. But man, they got a good card on there. It's gonna be good. Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa and Dolph Ziggler for the NXT title is it's going to be a pretty damn good triple threat, I'm sure.
I don't know if I see Braun Breaker winning or losing the belt so soon. In all honesty, unless they want to start throwing a rocket ship on his back, and get him ready for the night after WrestleMania. So yeah, Dave. We see you asking a question about how do you feel about Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor. Let's jump to that.
That's
what are your thoughts news first?
Honestly, man, I had kind of gone into the day because I had heard reports that they were going to be doing a announcing a streaming deal. Find a place for all their back catalog of Dynamite and just everything that's gone on. And I heard HBO Max, and that was kind of my intention of what was going to happen. And I mean, the ROH deal is huge. I mean, we're talking about, when WWE and TNA were going at it, this is number 3 in the country. I mean, arguably you could say number 3 in the wrestling world at the time. I mean, New Japan didn't really get into the, top tier echelon of wrestling companies till about, 2000, 2009, 2010. So I think, looking at what Gabe Sapolsky did with Ring of Honor and the amount of stars that have gone through it, especially the amount of stars that are on AEW's roster, Punk, Danielson, Christopher Daniels, it looks like Samoa Joe's going to end up being there at some point. There's just a bunch of guys who have really made their careers in Ring of Honor. And I think for Tony being able to not only get that tape library, which is arguably some of the best matches of all time. I mean, some of those early 2000s matches in Ring of Honor are really, really spectacular. So this is huge, man. It's especially if you can get guys like, you'll bring over Jonathan Gresham, the ROH champion. And, there's a lot of guys and gals who got released from their ROH contracts when everything, went down earlier in the year. So this is going to be this is a big move, man, especially if they depend on using it like Tony has said and kind of use it as a developmental territory. I think that if you get a TV deal, even if it's something, small, like if it's kind of how like WWE had UPN, when they first had SmackDown, I think if you can get a small, TV deal and be able to still expand your roster even more and, kind of shuffle them from AEW and ROH and still kind of, blend that blurred line of who's on which side and cross people over, man, it's
I think
we're a pro wrestling podcast.
But such a large AEW roster.
Exactly.
Switch some of those guys to Ring of Honor.
Exactly.
You use some of your airtime that you normally use for Dark.
Yeah.
And what's that? Elevation, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we got 3 hours.
ROH.
We got 3 hours of AEW TV a week. That's on on national TV. So let's say you add another hour, 2 hours. That's all ROH. And I mean, we're not just talking like AEW ROH. This has got to be a completely separate brand that is used as developmental, kind of how kind of how WWE is doing with NXT. Like you can have that, you know, cross promotion a little bit, but these are these stars, you know, on this show, and I really do think that it could work. And I know that that's, you know, AEW is trying to not commit the sins that WCW did and that WWE did during the brand split. But this is if they pull this off, and again, I was just about to say this, you know, we're a pro wrestling podcast, and I know we talk a lot about AEW, and you know, we throw in WWE as much, and obviously now ROH is going to be huge, but this could really put AEW on top. I honestly believe that. I think that they have the tape library. I think they have the superstars. I think that the storytelling. I think they have what it takes to be the number one wrestling company in the world in a few short years, maybe even at the end of this year. Honestly,
do you feel that Ring of Honor is going to be kind of like to AEW as what NXT was to WWE?
NXT now or NXT, you know, in the past?
NXT in the past, like 3-4 years ago. NXT.
Okay, so like 20. Okay, so when it was at its peak, I mean, it depends. Are you know, you got to find that balance of you know, veterans and rookies on both rosters. You'd have to be able to see, you know, what contracts do you want to bring over that ROH, you know, got rid of. Like I said, I'm sure Jonathan Gresham's going to be the first one just because he's, you know, ROH champion. But if you're still holding off on doing a trios title, which I know Tony has said that's coming at some point this year, you know, to kind of, he's mentioned, you know, Kenny Omega to be one of the main players in that. But even without it, I mean, if you put an entire roster on there that's completely different, but it's still like stars, you can make a star out of anybody. I mean, you know, with the right storytelling, the right backing, like you can do your best. We've seen WWE do it. So AEW's got a shot here, man. I really do think that they could be, you know, like you said, be the NXT to what they have on Dynamite and Rampage, and just be completely separate. But that cross promotion is still there. That's what you need. And you know, like David said down here, FTR versus the Briscoes, man. Briscoes could stay completely Ring of Honor, be, you know, the top tag team on that show, and still be, you know, obviously they're a recognizable name. We're talking about them, and you fight FTR's AEW. You know,
I would say you have FTR go on Ring of Honor's stage. To get more eyes on Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is you'll have those big guys. I mean, honestly, if a guy like Jungle Boy or you know, I mean, gosh, man, there's so many guys on guys and gals on. I keep saying just guys, but there's so many people on AEW's roster that are fantastic that are just not getting a shot. You know, like that, not a shot. They just, you know, there's not room for them. I mean, man, a few months ago, we were talking about Brian Pillman, you know, in a high-profile feud with MJF. And, you know, he's getting tossed out of the, you know, Battle Royale a few days ago in, I don't know, 3 minutes. Like, there's they have a wealth of talent, and it is going to be very hard for them to be stopped if they can figure out how to manage that talent. But I also think that, like, man, like I said, like the tape library, you create, you're kind of on your own little, I don't know. Do you have HBO Max?
Yeah.
You know how they have like the little like featured channels, you know, like DC and Turner Classic Movies and all that stuff?
Yeah, a little bit. I haven't really been on too much.
You like create your own hub that's, you know, just, you know, all AEW past stuff, and you got the entire Ring of Honor library, which also fills in kind of that original content that WWE has. I mean, you're what is WWE doing that AEW isn't, that besides, you know, going to Saudi and then having that global presence yet? I mean,
for sure.
AEW is making a move, man.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that are watching or about to watch, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. It should be somewhere in the right-hand corner of your screen somewhere. But anyhow, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you share this with your friends and family. All you wrestling fans should get this YouTube link.
Inject it into your veins, man. And
Make sure you text your friends this YouTube link of this AEW prediction show, because a lot of times we get it right.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
we get it wrong too.
Yeah, but you know, one of the better things is we just kind of, there's no oh, your opinion sucks, like you're wrong kind of thing. Like you said, like it's, you know, we just have fun. We show our passion for wrestling, and I mean, you know, I was talking to one of my friends today. Man, WrestleMania week is gonna be crazy for us. I already got the days off for work, but think about it, man. We got Friday Night SmackDown. You got the go home show. We got a preview show. We got NXT Stand and Deliver. We got WrestleMania Night 2, and the Raw after WrestleMania. I mean, honestly, man, we'll probably even throw in, you know, a 20-minute recap of the Hall of Fame, you know, with such a big name and the Undertaker going in, and McMahon, you know, doing the induction. It's gonna be this is the time to be alive as one of the as me and you, man. We get to set up all this stuff and be ready for it, but it's fun, man. I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to you know, next month when it all gets crazy.
By the way, today's episode is brought to you by Trader Joe's.
It's also brought to you by Strawberry Angry Orchard. You know, if you enjoy the fruity side, this is where you should go, man.
I've went to Trader Joe's for the first time yesterday. The doctor was like, I just had a physical yesterday. The doctor's basically like, Wayne, you better get to Trader Joe's right now and get on your fruit, get on your vegetables, like right away, or you will die. So, in other words,
as most doctors speak, you know, you go in and they tell you you're falling apart right then and
I've been told I am on the verge of dying if I don't get my act together. Oh well, whatever the Lord's will may be. But anyway, this is no sodium, so everything I bought yesterday was no sodium. Some good dark chocolate that they have over there.
Can't say mine is.
Yeah, check out what I got. Check out what I got today. I couldn't resist. Somebody posted it in one of the wrestling Facebook groups. It's an Eddie Guerrero pop.
Hey, okay.
See
that? Man. That's actually that's the WrestleMania 21, isn't it?
Yes, it is the WrestleMania 20. And
that's
if you
sweet.
See, I don't know if anybody could see it, but right there in the corner.
Exclusive.
Is the exclusive WrestleMania 20 logo.
That's sweet.
Which is pretty cool. I had to grab it because WrestleMania 20 was my first WrestleMania that I got to go to. So I saw this. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I gotta spend money now.
Now I gotta ask, are you keeping it in the box? Because like,
oh yeah,
I have I got a few of the AEW figures that I've kept in the box, but I got the Funko Pops. I got John Cena and Taker. I got Cena from WrestleMania 35 with the New York, Thugonomics get up and Taker, and I took those out of the box. But any other WWE one I think I'm gonna get, I gotta keep it in the box. So
there's another one I ordered. It was John Cena and The Rock in the ring.
In the ring, yep. I've seen that.
I pre-ordered that.
Oh,
that is on its way. That's not coming out of the box, but I definitely cannot show this.
You should see there's one that's Austin and Rock in a 2003 ring setting up WrestleMania 19.
There's one for that?
Yeah. Yeah, Funko Pop. It's like just like the same way, like with the ring and everything. It's 2003 era, and it's Rock and Austin, Hollywood Rock and Austin.
So this is a good one. Eddie Guerrero, WrestleMania 20 moment. You can only get this at GameStop. I had to
there you go.
Run into GameStop tonight over by my house. And,
wait, did you go and get something else, or was it just for the Funko?
No, I had to get something else for my Xbox One. Apparently, I'm missing a cord. Yeah, it's like the Xbox One is like a 2-piece. You get the power.
Yeah, and the HDMI.
The box. And
okay. You got
the plug. It's like a 2-piece plug.
Yeah.
But, you kidding?
Man, you gotta upgrade it. They put that power brick in the inside the console.
So I can't find the plug that goes into the brick. So I had to buy another one. I'm hoping that I find it, but so I can return it because it wasn't cheap, to be honest. But
Yeah. Hey man, before we get into the wrestling, I gotta ask you because I see your sweatshirt there, and your team is happens to be in my team's division, and happen to eliminate my team in the playoffs on their way to a pretty magical postseason run. But April 5th, man, whenever the first day, March 31st, man, the Red Sox and the Rays were supposed to play a nice 3-game series, and man, now we're not getting the first 2 series of baseball. At least, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, this is as a baseball fan, at least for the last few years, being super into it. Like, I'm gonna miss not being able to talk about our teams for the first couple of weeks. I mean, we were on it every day, sending something back to each other about what was going on around the league. Man, I'm gonna miss that for the first few weeks.
I was really thinking about trying to go to opening day at Fenway, and this would have been my first opening day at Fenway Park. I've been to so many Fenway Park games, history-making games. I'm talking about 100th year anniversary game, Yankees Red Sox.
Hey man, you've been to World Series.
I'm talking about the Red Sox clincher in 2013 against the Cardinals. I'm talking about Derek Jeter's very last game. Was game 162 in 2014, I believe.
Correct.
Derek Jeter's very last game. I was there in Fenway, not an empty seat in the house. But everybody was there for Jeter. It was not about Yankees Red Sox. But yeah, I've been to some terrible games too, where the Yankees swept the Red Sox in a 5-game sweep, and I was at the 5th game. They called I forgot what they called that, but it was just a horrible. But anyhow,
I mean,
they called that the Boston Massacre, by the way.
Oh, really? Oh man,
Yeah.
that's I'm telling you, man, it's just disappointing. We got the AAA, the Indianapolis Indians, the Pirates AAA team. They're still playing. They actually, funny enough, their opening day is on my birthday, so I'm planning on. I got the day off, so I'm planning on at least seeing some kind of baseball next month. But
Nice.
man, I'm disappointed. I was ready for to kind of restart that rivalry, because let me tell you, man, I talked a lot of shit last year about the Rays and the Red Sox, and the way that you guys embarrassed us in the playoffs, man. I still can't get over it.
Listen, I'm not gonna say I wasn't mad about it. I was definitely happy about it, but I didn't expect that to happen.
No, man,
I did not expect that to happen.
And you also have to remember, especially after game 1, where Tampa, we won 5-1. Rosarena stole home. When he stole home, it was like, okay, this. Honestly, as a fan, the momentum, I was like, this is over. Like, we're in Tampa for another game. This is going to be a quick series and everything.
Well, you want to know what's more messed up? You want to know what's even more messed up than that? We beat the Tampa Bay Rays, and then we were steamrolling the Houston Astros for the first 2 games in the ALCS, and then in the middle of the game 3,
you stopped. You forgot how to pitch,
changed, and they forgot how to hit.
Yep.
They didn't hit the whole series, and the Reds and Houston ended up winning the 4th straight. Unbelievable.
I mean,
I was so angry about that.
And that's kind of the thing is, yes, I was disappointed with the end result, but man, last year I got so into the season and trying not to miss a game, and just being so invested, and to be able to see my team make the World Series the year before, and then obviously have such a great year last year, win their 2nd division in a row, and then end it. You're going into this year, you're super excited, and the fact that we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. There's canceled games. It sucks, man. It really does.
I believe we'll get baseball.
We'll get baseball, but I'm saying. What do you think? How many games are we going to be missing?
I mean, listen, they can still squeeze in a 162 game season if they want to, but they gotta get the ball rolling within a week or 2.
How many? What do you think?
Some doubleheaders and stuff.
What do you think? Are we dropping it down to 140, 120?
But I can see between 100 and 120 happening.
Okay, man. You think we're going to be missing 60 games? Up to 60 games?
Hey, listen, we've missed a lot more than that. I mean, just look at the '95 season.
94.
Look at 2 years ago, the pandemic season.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. But that
Yeah.
also, I guess the situations are different, but in the same way, they're not. Like
For sure.
you're right.
It was different
know,
circumstance, but they still squeezed in a 60-game season.
and I think like in that way, that 60-game series or season was great as a baseball fan. Like it was so much more digestible and being able, with the expanded playoffs and everything. But
Sure.
as we've noticed with wrestling, not having fans there, it completely changes the atmosphere.
For sure. So, let's talk a little AEW now. And Dave also brought up the fact that what's going to happen with the women's champion. Nothing's going to happen. Deanna Purrazzo is still one of your women, one of your women's champions. If there's only one woman ROH women's champion, I don't even know. But Deanna Purrazzo is still your champion. That doesn't change.
Yeah.
So that doesn't change. None of that changes.
Okay, throw out. I mentioned it to my. Speaking of him being in the Hall of Fame, we're getting on AEW, but the throwback Mean Mark Callis T-shirt. Thanks to the WWE shop for that. So
yes,
had to throw it out there.
So what did you think about AEW programming this week before we get into the predictions? We saw some good stuff with MJF and CM Punk.
Yes. Hey, man. I've made this connection a little bit, but I feel like AEW kind of came along and wanted to be that indie wrestling, that hardcore wrestling fan. This the kind of person that remembers, like stuff that happened 15 years ago in a specific promo, and that kind of showed this week. Even tonight, Punk was talking about, oh, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna turn into a monster to fight all the monsters, around me. Hey man, that's a throwback to his TNA days with his dog collar match with Raven. I mean, that's the hardcore wrestling fan in me that knows that. Like that's what they're rewarding you for. And I mean, the storytelling. How could you not? I mean, you knew that MJF was going to turn on him eventually, and kind of go back to that dickish heel, but. I mean, what a visual they had with the chain and of course Punk is wearing the white T-shirt, and so make it better for effect. But I mean the diamond shot, it looked about as real as you could get, and I mean it's hard to say that I'm not excited. This is probably one of the most excited that I've been for an AEW pay-per-view, and I feel like we say that every time, but they really do just keep raising the bar.
MJF giving that low blow to
exactly the kick,
CM Punk. That reminded me. That was shades of Jericho Michaels right there.
Yes,
WrestleMania 19.
Yes, man.
I saw that coming.
Great connection.
I saw that coming a mile away. I'm like,
Hey, speaking of Jericho, man. Hey, props to him for did you see the picture of how his looks changed the last year?
He looks great. He must be on that TDP yoga.
He's been on something, man. Because he was a little. We were talking a little bit about
Well, I think he had some kind of health scare in London a couple months ago.
Yeah,
and we haven't really seen him work too much, but I think that transitions happened since then. He's trimmed down a lot.
Going back to last year, I kind of think a lot of wrestling podcasts were talking about how Jericho just looks out of shape, and man,
he was drinking a lot too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I
partying,
raised that,
Yeah.
But I mean, like he looked fantastic, man. He looks completely different. It doesn't even look like, he just looks like he could go another 10 years, honestly. Like he really, if you haven't seen it, look it up, man. I mean, Chris Jericho.
Oh, no, yeah. I saw it recently. I saw it today on one of the websites.
Yeah.
He looks great.
If anybody who's watching hasn't seen it, man, go check it out because it's quite impressive.
I almost got to that shape. Recently until I tore my bicep, and now I've been having like Taco Tuesday and hamburger every other night.
Yeah, man. I feel you on that one.
That's what my doctor told me. I was about to die.
And you're about to convince me to get some tacos. It sounds good.
Like literally, it's been bad. My diet's been horrible. How about the Wardlow and Pierce dynamic? I'm seeing a slow burn of a face turn for Wardlow.
Let me tell you,
I think that's going to take place, and we'll talk about it in a couple moments. But I think that's going to take place on Sunday night. I think we're going to see a face turn.
Yeah, let me tell you, man, this is probably one of the better stories going on in all of wrestling right now. I mean, if you
Wardlow's over.
you can listen, that's the thing, man.
He
You
is
listen to the crowd.
organically
Wardlow
over right
is,
now.
and again, that's credit because Wardlow, he had that first big match, the steel cage match with Cody, but I feel like that was more of a Cody moment, as we know, and man, Wardlow has come into his own. I mean, the dude can go. I remember, sitting at when AEW came here for uh, the go home show before Full Gear
Yeah.
last year. There's somebody in the crowd like right in front of us that was really like pop. I mean, like his favorite wrestler was Wardlow, and I guess I didn't understand it at the time, but man, the dude is over. And that when that turn happens, when he does officially turn on MJF and Sean Spears, I mean, it's gonna be like it's gonna be one of the probably top 5, top 10 pops of the entire year, I would say.
It's definitely gonna happen. What other good storylines we have going on?
I mean, come on, Hangman and Adam versus Adam, Page
Yep,
versus Cole. I mean, that's gonna be.
that's gonna be something else.
It's crazy to think that CM Punk and MJF is not the main event, and we got that.
We had a great 3-way match tonight for the TNT title.
Yeah, man.
Sammy Guevara defending against Darby Allin and Andrade, and 15 minutes. But in the 15 minutes, we got a heck of a match between the two of them. And Darby Allin had hit that coffin drop and somehow got out of the way. Sammy Guevara did the backflip, the moonsault, and ended up getting the win. Darby Allin wasn't too happy about that. So, we might see tensions rise on Sunday, maybe not.
Yeah.
And then we saw Christian beating Ethan Page in the main event.
It's time for Christian to actually do something important.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of had to have like a little bit of a big name in there too. So I wasn't mad at that. Serena Deeb.
Honestly, I would have liked to see Ethan Page though. I feel like he's kind of been like I popped a little bit for his debut.
But like you said, it's just been there's so many. Like your Daniel Bryan came in, Adam Cole came in, Punk came in. Now you got Keith Lee came in.
Yeah. Guys like Jeff Hardy is
Hardy's coming in. Won't be here Sunday. That's not happening.
Yeah, no.
Probably not till Dynamite.
But even Samoa Joe. I mean,
Samoa Joe's a possibility. I think he's gonna.
Cesaro,
in my opinion, Cesaro. On the other hand, he could be a one that shows up on Sunday. Yeah. I don't see Samoa Joe showing up. I think he's going to be.
Oh, I don't think. I
think he might do something with ROH. Maybe do a trainer or something.
Yeah, I don't think they're showing up on Sunday, but I still think
Cesaro can show up
down the line. I mean, we're looking at potential people who would be on that roster.
I bet you Cesaro shows up in a quick segment, Jay Lethal style, on Sunday night.
Okay.
Where Tony Schiavone just introduces him to the crowd right away.
I hope he does. He's got to come out in a suit like he did when he re-debuted in 2016.
The only problem I had with the last AEW pay-per-view was that it was just match after match after match. There was no breathing space between the matches.
This is Full Gear that we're referencing for anybody.
There was no vignettes.
Yeah.
I think they stacked too many matches in the card. So I'm hoping that changes a little bit. I would like to see a little bit of backstage stuff in between. Just give each match a little breathing space.
It's tough
honestly,
because
WWE nails it. They nail their pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
The timing of them. That's what you meant by that.
They know how to time their pay-per-views. They don't give you 11 matches. They give you 7 matches.
Yeah.
On average. But
and we're also talking about
you could digest it.
Their matches are being, built on a month-by-month basis. There's 4, sometimes 3, 3 to 4 months of story that's being told in in an entire 4-hour show over 11 matches. I mean, we're not even talking about Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. I mean, that story's been going on with some of the best matches, honestly, top 5 match of the year last year, that lights out match at St. Patrick's Day Slam or Smash. So I mean, this card is stacked, and it's hard to not say that about every AEW pay-per-view, and I think that's kind of what sets them apart is doing that 4 month, 3 to 4 month kind of wait in between each show. It allows the storylines to fully develop. However, you run into that problem of you're trying to catch everybody up and trying to tell a complete story that can hold off for the next few months in a 10, 15, 20-minute match. So sometimes, they run into a problem with that.
For sure. Well, let's dive right in. AEW Revolution is this Sunday night.
Yeah.
The buy-in is 7:30. I forgot what the women's match was, but I know we're getting Hook versus QT Marshall. I'm very excited for that. That's gonna happen. I love watching Hook. I might get myself a Hook T-shirt when I get a chance.
You should, man. I gotta send Hook shirt coming on the way.
Yo, Dave Smith is gonna be calling us the Hook Bros soon.
I like the Hook Bros. I like that. I'll take it.
Well, we are trying to, hook wrestling fans to watch our podcast. So, I mean, that could be a good name for us. But anyhow, we'll start with the slightly undercard first. We have AHFO Andrade El Idolo, Isaiah Cassidy, and Matt Hardy going against Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting in a tornado tag match. So I expect that to be a little bit of a wild one. I expect Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting to go over. After what we saw tonight, we could see a little dissension between Sammy and Darby after Sunday night. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, the winner here is
and I got Darby and Sammy and Sting winning. I think, unless there's some kind of interference.
The winner here is pretty obvious. I think anybody would probably end up taking Darby and his squad, and I don't know, man. I'm still kind of holding out hope that we get that Sting Darby turn. I would love to see a feud between them. I'm a big fan of Sting, and being able to kind of see him be involved, but not really. It's fine, but the story's just there, man. I mean, Darby and Sting, that veteran and mentor and student of the game kind of thing. Like, I'm waiting for it. I'm kind of hoping it happens this week. I don't think it does on Sunday. I don't think that's
the dissension we're gonna get. I think the dissension we'll get, if anything, will be Darby and Sammy.
Yeah. I wish it could, but
you could save that Sting Darby dissension later on.
Hey, that could be a big Double or Nothing match. Honestly, that would be a match that I think would slot perfectly on that card.
Speaking of AEW Double or Nothing in Las Vegas, I got my tickets.
There you go, man.
Be there. We will be running a live show from Las Vegas with the lights in the background. I'm excited, man. Can't wait. We'll probably check out a little Blue Man Group, get some dinner. I don't know. It's weird because the events start at 4:00. Each event will be done by like around 7:30. Like, what are we gonna do at night?
Yeah,
so I gotta figure all that out.
Gotta figure out what you're gonna do, man.
I don't gamble. I'm not gonna do the whole "what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas" thing. Whatever you want that to be.
That's the best way.
No, that's definitely not the best way. I'll get in trouble. But But I would definitely like to check out the lights, get some nice dinner in the area, tour around, and maybe check out some nearby cities. So it'll be cool. But it's just gonna be weird. Like, the events will be starting like 4:30. We'll be walking out of Double or Nothing when the night is over at 8:30, which is good because then we'll be running our post show. Luckily for me, 8:30 my time, 11:30 your time.
Yeah.
So I'll be 3 hours behind you.
Gosh,
that'll be weird.
That'll be a fun little setup that we're gonna be having.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting doing a show live from Vegas, and then the next year WrestleMania LA.
Yeah.
So can't wait to do a show from there too as well. So we got Keith Lee versus Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs. versus Ricky Stark versus Wardlow versus Christian Cage for the Face of the Revolution ladder match. And if I'm not mistaken, the winner of this match goes on to face the TNT champion or the AEW champion number one contender.
Let me pull it up. Let me make sure.
Yeah.
Future TNT championship. Correct.
All right.
I mean,
listen,
come on. This is just.
It's not going to be Cassidy. I don't think it's Powerhouse Hobbs, although he's heating up a little bit. I don't see Ricky Starks. I mean, listen, this is a good field of competitors, and some of these guys are all heating up. I don't see Christian Cage winning.
I mean, come on. Let's just cut to the chase. It's Wardlow. Wardlow's winning this match.
It's gotta be Wardlow, but
Wardlow or
now,
Keith Lee. It's Wardlow or Keith Lee.
Are you gonna have Wardlow versus Sammy Guevara? I'm gonna go Keith Lee for this reason. Because I'm expecting Wardlow, some kind of turn with Wardlow happening with and it could happen during this match actually. So we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm expecting maybe Shawn Spears to interfere. Maybe have
you think he's gonna cost Wardlow?
Yeah, have maybe Wardlow and Spears. Okay. Something going on there.
Okay.
I mean, Wardlow's been hot lately, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he should win, but then you just brought Keith Lee in, who's also over. Like, it screams to me that he could win also.
The reason that I picked either of them is because, I'm looking at it from who could take the better the power bomb. Who's taking Keith Lee's power bomb better, or which power bomb is Sammy Guevara going to take? I guess that's how I meant by it. Is he going to be taking just Wardlow's power bomb barrage, or he's going to take the pump up power bomb from Keith Lee? And I'd love to see it from Wardlow. So I'm going Wardlow. It's too hard for me not to. I just think that now's the time, man. I like Keith Lee, and I wouldn't be disappointed with his victory, but it's just the time, man. Like, Wardlow is just so over, and it's so good to see a wrestler get that like active progression, the natural, slowly building, because we don't get that a lot, and I think that being able to look at that and see the way that Wardlow's kind of career arc in AEW so far has gone is really, really impressive from a storytelling perspective. Excuse me.
He's got the most momentum right now for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a tough one for me. It's either Wardlow or Keith Lee, for sure.
So at least we got the same idea, at least.
Relatively. We'll come back to the Wardlow thing in a second.
Okay.
We got Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston, and you know what? I mean, on paper, normally I would say Chris Jericho, but in this case, I'm gonna have to go Eddie Kingston with the win over Chris Jericho.
Yep, I agree with you.
Because you saw on Wednesday night, Santana and Ortiz giving Chris Jericho the pound. They didn't say much, very cordial.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that Inner Circle's done. I believe Sammy's going his own way. Jake Hager is kind of. I think Hager will kind of stick with Jericho.
What happened to Jake Hager? Where is Jake Hager?
The official term. Well, he's Jericho's puppy dog. Pretty much. But
really,
he's only missed about a week or two.
Yeah.
I think we get Santana and Ortiz officially turning on Jericho, and we're gonna see Eddie Kingston and Eddie Kingston, Ortiz, and Santana all together.
Yeah.
Or
hey,
or they may not happen, and then Chris Jericho will lose, and he'll show the respect Eddie Kingston. And but again, I have a feeling that Santana Ortiz are going to be a factor. I just have that gut feeling.
Isn't it crazy to think that they've just not really been an important tag team? And the
Just
fact
because the AEW has brought so many good tag teams,
but that's what I'm
Red
saying
Dragon, the Young Bucks,
is we were talking about, like, and we'll get
FTR.
into that tag team match, but we were talking about, who can make out that ROH, kind of roster and everything, and I mean that's a perfect team to sit there and be in that spot, and the fact that they haven't been, very important so far is pretty impressive. So now that they're getting that chance, there's a lot of momentum behind this. So I think if done right, we could see, Santana Ortiz be top contenders. I think that they kind of fit that mold really well.
We have CM Punk versus MJF in the dog collar match. Let me tell you, excuse me, I just burped. I hope nobody heard that. Anyhow, this is gonna be a bloodbath.
Oh my goodness! If you didn't watch Wednesday's,
MJF doesn't take many losses, but I think he takes a loss here.
Man, I've been going back and forth on this so much because I think what you could do here, and I'll throw this out to you. There's two ways you can, kind of tell this story.
Because I have a feeling that MJF somehow works with Wardlow after this program with Punk.
I don't know. I feel like they end it here coming up, but
yeah, I feel like Punk and MJF end it right here.
I just think
after this, I think MJF and Wardlow have their program.
You could have, Punk get that finally get that win. Get the win. And MJF wouldn't necessarily be affected. Let's just be honest. MJF is the future of AEW. He is that damn good, and I would love to see CM Punk win. He is my favorite wrestler, and I think the storyline tells it. Works that way. However, man, this is Batista, Triple H 2005. MJF gets the 3 wins in a row. Punk is still chasing that elusive win against him. I mean, come on, dude. Like, they told that story, 2005, first 3 matches with Batista and Triple H, and then they kind of went back to it at WrestleMania 35. So 14 years later, obviously they won't do that with Punk and MJF, but think if this was the one win that Punk, never got in AEW was beating MJF, and that's something that you can go back to later down the line. I mean, I would be so down for it. I would love to see MJF kind of have that Batista style, just they really are showing we're behind you, man. We know that you are a pillar of AEW, and if you're not admitting to yourself that he is, you're doing it wrong, because the dude is the promo work the last 2 weeks from MJF has been phenomenal. I can't stress that enough. Go watch this man's promos the last 2 weeks.
So do you have MJF? You have MJF
I'm gonna go with MJF, man. I really do, and that hurts because I've been very adamant that CM Punk is my favorite wrestler of all time. He got me back into wrestling. I got to go with MJF, man. I got to. It's going to be a brutal match. I would, if you've never seen, if you need a dog collar match, refresher. Obviously, we have Brody and Cody Lee's match, but Greg Valentine and Roddy Piper, 1978, I want to say. Oh my goodness, what a match!
Now so MJF wins.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
After this, I still think that Wardlow and MJF have some kind of feud going on next. To be honest, I think they're gonna head to that.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna head to that. They're gonna head to that.
That's the next logical step.
Double or Nothing, where Wardlow gets fired and then AEW signs into a contract.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's no matter who wins. I think that's the next logical step is MJF and Wardlow.
John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. This feud has been built up due to the fact that Bryan Danielson has been calling out John Moxley for a couple of weeks, wanting to be a partner to him to not only run roughshod through AEW television with all the competitors, in like to a tag team, but they want to, Bryan Danielson's excuse is wanting to build up people for the next generation while getting to beat up people as well. And he feels that John Moxley would be great for that. We see John Moxley come out on the AEW Dynamite 2 weeks ago, and John Moxley tells Bryan Danielson straight to his face that he's not going to tag with somebody that he hasn't bled with yet. Basically, that was his answer to Bryan Danielson. In other words, saying we're gonna go to battle first, and we're gonna fight it out. If you want to,
we're gonna test each other's metal, man.
Yeah, if you want to be partners, we gotta fight it out first. So that's gonna happen. I have a feeling Bryan Danielson gets the win in a very close match, and then after that, they start a program together as far as teaming up. Based off of mutual
isn't
respect.
That crazy, man? Like the fact that this is going to be a tag team too. Like
I think that's where it's headed. Some people will say
I agree
no,
with you. I think
and maybe one of them will challenge for the championship. But
no, I think that they go to a tag team as well. And I mean, like this is another good match where it's just who really can win. Like either guy could be a logical winner. And I was listening to the I don't know if you listen to AEW Unrestricted, their podcast, but they had Tony Khan do kind of a preview of the show, and man, I'm telling you, like these guys really are two of the top guys like in wrestling the last 10 years. And I mean, who do you really pick? Who can you really be upset with if that person wins? So I think I like Danielson too. I think that momentum, I think he's still going to be set up to be a top star in AEW, but and Moxley obviously doesn't, as much as he probably wants it, doesn't need the victory to, advance his character or anything. So this will be a damn good match, man. A damn good match, but I'm going to go with Danielson as well.
I wonder if Danielson and Mox both turn heels.
Heel turn in the same match.
Oh no, they're not. Well, Bryan Danielson's already kind of like a heel tweener, and Moxley's kind of like a more of a face, but kind of like a tweener.
Excuse me.
So I wondered if John Moxley decides to kind of turn heel with Bryan Danielson.
Okay, I can see that.
I'm wondering, but. I just sent our link to Reddit for the.
Oh yeah.
We'll see if we get booted off tonight.
Yeah, we don't want to get banned tonight.
Oh man. Okay. This I think is going to be on the buy-in, if I'm not mistaken. The AEW TBS title, Jade Cargill defending against Ty Conti.
I think that's making the main card.
I'm not sure. There's two matches that are going to be in the buy-in. I could have sworn one was a woman.
It's Statlander and Jamie Hay or Layla Hirsch.
Okay, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. If I'm correct.
Jade Cargill. So here's the pros.
I don't like her.
She looks great. She has a great presentation. If she keeps her talking to a minimum, she's fine. Yeah. She's got a great mouthpiece. She's got a great look. I like her green hair. It's a nice little switch up. Great presentation before and after the bell.
Yep.
Great presentation, and then the bell rang, and then she's just so green now.
I just can't get behind her.
AEW is just dealing with it because let's just be honest. If she improves her wrestling, she's
a star.
Potential of a major star. She's got the tools. She just got to work on her wrestling in the ring. But basically, they just told you, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, they basically told you in Cargill's promo in the ring on Dynamite that she is 28-0 and it's going to go 29-0.
Yeah.
Who's next? They're basically giving her the Goldberg
treaty.
So, gosh, she might not win this. She might not lose this title for a while.
No, don't you say that. Stop it. Don't you? I don't like people being pushed like that, man.
Hey,
Jade Cargill's gonna turn into the new Charlotte Flair for me.
There's 2 women's titles, so
she already is. Let me just be honest.
But
in case you're wondering, Jade Cargill is as Ed has been known on this
Jade
show.
Flair.
I'm not a big Charlotte Flair fan, and
Jade Reigns.
Jade really? No, I like Roman Reigns. I like Roman Reigns. I don't like Charlotte Flair though.
I like Roman. But yeah, Roman Reigns has been doing some good work.
He has
Unbelievable. Jurassic Express versus the Red Dragon versus Young Bucks.
Again, what a damn good match. I mean, like
I need to come back to this. I need to come back to this because there's a couple scenarios.
Who's winning. You know who's
winning. There's a couple scenarios. Like I want to say Red Dragon.
You know that Red Dragon is winning.
The other thing too is like, I mean, maybe Red Dragon and Young Bucks are just combustible elements, and they're gonna.
Well, of course,
and they're gonna feud right after this, and somehow.
Of course, that's how they do it. Yeah, and that's how you split up Jurassic Express.
So
and you
I'm wondering if Jurassic Express somehow escapes the tag team champions, but I have my gut feeling is Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly win this match here. What do you think?
You say it like you're disappointed, man. We're talking about Kyle O'Reilly. I love Kyle O'Reilly. If anybody doesn't know, he's probably one of my favorite indie wrestlers. Speaking of another ROH guy, I'm telling you, man. Kyle O'Reilly, Red Dragon, they're gonna get it done.
So you think Young Bucks and Red Dragon will split after this? Or it's gonna be
yeah. I think we saw it in the original tag team battle royal. A little bit of that dissension, kind of. We know each other. We're gonna cost you the match, kind of thing. And
I have a feeling here a Jurassic Express wrestler is gonna get. I have a feeling Luchasaurus is gonna take the pinfall here.
Oh, of course. The only thing
I don't think Young Bucks take the pin when they lose. I think I have a feeling Jungle Boy or Lucha Dragon. Luchasaurus is gonna take this take the pinfall.
The only thing is that you're running into the fact that can you recall the last time that Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus defended those titles? Like, could you actively tell me? Because I don't know.
I don't know either. I think they did once though.
So that's your point. Is it was a good fan moment.
Like they just won it though.
Correct.
They just won it in like January.
Correct. They won it pretty recently. So like it was a good fan moment for them to win. But if you're not going to have them defend it, okay, let's take the title off of them. We still know that Luchasaurus is a good body to have. He's somebody that you can put in a match like the Face of the Revolution match. Like he could be a guy that down the line is in Wardlow's position. I feel very strongly about that, but you put him in and you still break Jungle Boy off. I still think Jungle Boy is one of the more over characters in AEW, and I mean you're giving it to Red Dragon, who's probably one of the better tag teams of the last 20 years across all of America. So hey man, there's a story here. There's a really good chance that we see Red Dragon take this.
I think so. I feel like the slight odds-on favorites to win this match Sunday night for sure. What else we got here?
And we got to talk about Britt and Thunder Rosa.
Oh yeah, that's the next one. Britt
Baker
defending her title against Thunder Rosa. Does Britt Baker finally lose her title here?
Yes, she does. She has to, man.
I'm not too sure if we get a lot of title changes here. but I have a feeling like Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker have fought maybe twice for that title.
And that's just for the title. I mean, let's talk about how many times they've fought just in general.
Yeah, Thunder Rosa took the loss about a year ago on Dynamite in a brutal bloodbath.
Yeah, the St. Patrick's Day lights out match.
Yeah.
Which I'm serious. If anybody hasn't seen that match, please go out and watch it. It's not the best women's match of the year. It is one of the top matches in all of wrestling for the entire year. It is a fantastic piece of storytelling. Highly recommended.
Well, let me ask you this. Is there anything else for Britt Baker to do as far as challengers go?
I mean, maybe Serena Deeb, but I mean, like
heel and heel, maybe.
I mean, maybe, but I like Serena Deeb as much as the next person. But are we really going with, I just feel like Thunder Rosa. The storyline's there. She's had some matches with Serena Deeb, so you could continue that storyline. As the first challenger after Britt Baker, still build up because we're still getting those 5-minute challenges from Serena Deeb. So you can obviously tell that they're trying to, build her up and have her be an important character. So I think, you get Thunder Rosa to win this match. She, gets the rematch against Britt and wins that one too. And then you go right into continuing the story of her and Serena Deeb. And that's, let's say, I don't know, 4 months down the line, let's say they have their first match at Double or Nothing or a triple threat or something. Like, it's a damn good fucking women's match. Like, it would be nice to see that on the card.
So you think that we got Britt Baker losing to Thunder Rosa?
Correct. And then
listen, there's a very good chance Britt Baker's had this title for what, 7 months now?
Has it only been 7?
I feel like it's been around 7. It was definitely
feels like it's been a year, man. That's what it really feels like.
It was, I think it was a little bit before All Out.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. That sounds about right.
I think it was a little before All Out. I can't think of like how much, like I can't pinpoint as to what month it was.
Yeah, when it exactly was. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like she's had the title for 7 months, which is a pretty, like an average title run. So she could lose it here. But now we've gotten to the point where we're almost at the main event, which we'll talk about in a minute. And now we've already had 2 title changes.
Do you really expect Adam Cole to win?
Oh, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay. You said it like you did.
It right now. Let's go. We'll talk about it right now. We got Adam Cole challenging Hangman Adam Page.
How?
And I have a feeling if Red Dragon wins the tag titles, that Adam Cole and Red Dragon are all walking out with the championship titles.
Oh, like a little evolution kind of way.
Kind of like what they did in NXT, Undisputed Era.
I didn't even make that connection. I totally, yeah. I would be okay with that.
They could go that route, but then what do you have for a Hangman? I mean, Hangman will chase for a little while again. Listen, Doug McDonald said it better than the best from Living a Gimmick. That there's money in the chase with your favorite good guy or face chasing after the title. There's money in that.
There are just some people who are, and I think until she had her this run that she's had now, I mean, Becky Lynch, I think she was a good example of people where the chase is better than the actual title holding, and not let's not act like Hangman's been a bad champion at all, because he's been great. I've actually really enjoyed all of his matches. The Texas Death match with Lance Archer was perfect. But I mean, let's just be honest. Yeah, exactly. The 60-minute match. I mean, come on. When was the last time we saw a 60-minute match on free TV? I mean, 2007 with Cena and Shawn Michaels. I mean, let's just be honest here. his chase for that title is impossible to beat. I mean, that storytelling is one of the best stories in wrestling in the past, 25 years.
It's
I mean,
weird. It
one
feels
of the
like
best I've seen, at least.
it feels a little soon for Adam Page, Adam Hangman Page to lose the title here.
Yeah. But the fact that it's a real
if he
possibility, we're
retains,
talking about this being a real
if
possibility.
he retains, where do you go? Where do you go? If Adam Page holds on to this belt,
MJF.
yeah, I guess that's the
I mean,
direction you
I
go
feel
in.
like MJF is the next champion. That's how I see it, at least.
If
If
Adam
it's
Cole
not
is
Adam
walking
Cole,
out of the title
correct.
with the title, I don't know. I'm not really too sure who you have Adam paired with just yet.
Yeah.
But you'll have Hangman wanting a rematch. Maybe Moxley wanting that belt back. Not to mention, a little later in this year, probably by All Out in Chicago, we'll have Kenny Omega back,
Correct.
and you
Hopefully.
can tell that story with Adam Cole. Yeah, no, I mean Kenny Omega will probably be back by like June, July.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he comes back for Double or Nothing, but you never know. But it is kind of getting a little close. So yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting having Thunder Rosa win a title, and the tag titles changing hands, then the world title changing hands. Yeah.
There could be
I
some.
feel like it's
here,
almost a lot going on.
But I mean, hey, Tony Khan
but
did
it doesn't
say
happen too often where that many titles change hands in one night.
correct.
So that could very well happen.
Tony Khan did say, that there's going to be a lot of new storylines started. So I mean, the possibilities there. We could see some good flips here.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, you definitely got to get some new storylines started because then one of your biggest pay-per-views of the year is Double or Nothing.
It's coming up. Yep, Double or Nothing. Exactly.
Yeah. So that should be very interesting, to say the least. Yeah, I have like I said, I have a feeling Cole's gonna win. Who he faces after that, not for the next pay-per-view, not too sure.
Yeah, there's room.
I think they're gonna head towards Wardlow and MJF. I think that's gonna happen. That this Punk MJF feud is gonna end regardless.
Yeah.
And the tag titles, I have a feeling we'll get Young Bucks against Red Dragon in either on a special Dynamite or by the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm expecting a special Dynamite, and I think that's where you do that. Going back to the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker rematch, to where you can still do
listen,
Serena Deeb and her or triple threat at Double or Nothing. I think you can do a special Dynamite and do that. That match between the two. I would be completely okay with that, David. I would love to see Kenny at the end. There always seems to be a surprise in a AEW pay-per-view, so that would be a welcome surprise.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting because then you can go Kenny and the Bucks versus Adam Cole and Red Dragon.
Ooh.
And that could very well be a main event at the next pay-per-view.
That would be. Hey, if you want to add in a few more people, let's do another Stadium Stampede because Double or Nothing Stadium Stampede, probably my favorite match of all time is at least one of them is the original Stadium Stampede. So, hey man, I'd be 100% okay with that.
What else do we got here?
I think that's the major. Yeah, I think we got through all the major ones. We've been going for a little bit here, man. But it deserves it, man. This is a big pay-per-view.
This is arguably bigger than All Out in Chicago, and All Out in Chicago is one of the biggest AEW pay-per-views of all time.
And isn't that crazy?
This has the potential
that we're talking about this in that light, and it just seems like every card that they put out is. It's just a notch above that next one, or that last one. There's always something that's like, man, this card just doesn't. Is there really like a bad? Maybe the Jade Cargill match. I mean, that's probably the only match that I'm that's not on the buy-in that I'm thinking, yeah, I don't really care. Like, is there really a match on here that you could say like that's not going to be good or that's not going to have a good story or a good action?
I'll be glued to every match.
I'm telling you, man, it's going to be. I'm not going to be able to watch it till Monday morning when I get off work, just because I go in, right when the show's going on. But I'm telling you, man, I'm very excited for this. I'm keeping the spoilers on keeping them low. I'm not going to be able to see anything, and I'm hoping for a really really damn good show.
What time do you go in?
I go in at 10, so I normally sleep like 2:30 to 9:15 or so. So yeah, I'll be like asleep halfway through, and then I'll be working for that first the last few hours. So I gotta stay off the Twitter. I gotta stay off everything. I gotta keep the spoilers on low, because I'm telling you, man, it's hard. It's tough, especially in the news business.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
But I'm excited, man. This is again, talking about the card and everything. Like, I say this every time, but this is probably one of the more excited I've been for an AEW pay-per-view, and I got 4 of them on DVD and 2 of them on the Bleacher Report app. So if that tells you anything, this is going to be a damn good pay-per-view, man.
It's going to be great. And not to mention, we're on the road to WrestleMania 38, which is just a couple weeks away after we get through this Revolution week ahead of us. We have basically 3 more weeks till WrestleMania. So it's a good time in wrestling. But anyhow, that pretty much
the best time, man.
Yeah, this is a great time. WrestleMania season and a Revolution pay-per-view in between, unbelievable. But we will that pretty much covers our prediction show for AEW Revolution that will be taking place this Sunday night. We will figure out when we will do the post show for this, or we will pivot and just include the post show in our next episode, which I believe is episode 84. So we'll cover that, and then the new feuds that the fallout of AEW next week, and then the road to WrestleMania next week we'll be covering too as well. So that's pretty much what it could be looking like. But we will let you guys know. Make sure you guys are subscribed, because you will get the alerts. You can follow us on Twitter. We'll give you the announcements there. So make sure you subscribe. We're also available on iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, and more. But be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for an announcement as far as the possibility of the post show Sunday night.
Yeah, man.
And episode 84.
I think that's the thing is, it's kind of the last big not that we won't touch on AEW, but it's kind of the last big AEW happening of this time of the wrestling year, and we're moving into it's WrestleMania season. I mean, come on, that's the most stupendous WrestleMania of all time. 2 nights. I mean, this is gonna be fun, man. I'm really
quick. Sami Zayn lost his Intercontinental title tonight to Ricochet.
Yes, yeah, to Ricochet. Who I've heard. I don't know if you've heard the rumors, but apparently he's like the number 2 guy right now on WWE, at least in their internal
on the SmackDown side. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So, hey man, I'm down for it. He deserves it. I love Ricochet. If you ever see Lucha Underground, him as Prince Puma, man, I'm telling you.
Listen, Ricochet is phenomenal. I think my only knock against him was his ability to talk sometimes. And that's, I guess, what a lot of people saw over the years. But his in-ring work is amazing. It totally makes up for it. He's got a good look. Listen, there can't be this like stop and go. Okay, let's push him for 1 month and then we won't push him again. And and then he gets to the back of the line for the next year or two. WWE's got to stop doing that, because that's why you're not making stars. Anyhow, we have so we had that happen tonight.
Yeah.
And also Vince McMahon on the Pat McAfee podcast
in Indiana, in
in
Indianapolis,
Indiana. Yeah,
where I'm
Vince McMahon
from,
went to Indiana and
which is
to Pat McAfee's studio and gave Pat McAfee the opportunity to be on WrestleMania to have a
yeah.
match.
Hey, let's just say this. Also, this
And,
wasn't like
do you know who that match is going to be against? By the way,
I do. Austin Theory.
Austin Theory.
But
came out.
I will say this. This wasn't like I don't know where they were tonight in WWE at SmackDown, but this wasn't like they were in Indianapolis for a taping, that night or kind of thing. Vince McMahon flew to Indianapolis, first live interview in 15 years, like as a fan of Pat McAfee, as a journalist, like as a podcaster, as a fan of Vince McMahon. I mean, I don't know. There's a little status with the fact that like Pat McAfee got to have that interview, and I'm a Pat McAfee fan, and he's from Indy, so yeah, man, it was a cool moment seeing Vince on Pat's show. The Hook Bros, you're damn right.
So that's gonna happen. Pat McAfee be on WrestleMania 38. So yeah, a lot of things happen. I figured let me touch on that really quick before we go off the air because we won't be able to talk about that until like next week.
Yeah.
At the earliest. But anyway, that pretty much wraps our show. Tommy, thank you so much for hopping on.
Hey, thank you, man.
And those of you guys that are watching, make sure you share this with your friends so that are wrestling fans. Stop being lazy. Make sure if you guys are watching this, send your friends the links that are not subscribers and tell them to subscribe.
Tell them to subscribe, man. We got the biggest time of the year right now, man.
This is the biggest time of the year. Season. We're doing more work than any other podcast right now. So anyhow, make sure you guys do that. That'll help us out. And we'll be back. Not too sure about the post show yet, but the latest we'll be back next week, episode 84.
Yes, sir.
And those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much for watching, and you all have a good night.
Woo! Thank you, guys.
Agility from the champion. Oh, G6! That could be a delivery.